In this video, we're going to examine the 24-hour volume listed on GDAX. By the end of the video, we will see that there's something mysterious about the displayed value. We know that volume is the total number of units traded for any given asset during a particular period. When we see a volume number for Bitcoin, for example, we need to know more than just the number. We need to have context around this number. We need to know when and where the volume occurred. We have already learned how to read the volume bars over different periods of time. The selected time period on the price chart gives us the when. The fact that we're on GDAX gives us the where. In the video on volume, we saw that the volume for each period is the sum of the trade sizes in the trade history for a given period of time. We called these periods slices. We looked at the trade history and we imagined that we were taking a slice of the trade history. Using 1-minute candlesticks, we were able to verify that the quoted volume in the bars on the price chart matched the sum of the trade sizes added up from the trade history. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it now because we will use what we learned there to investigate another volume measurement listed in GDAX. This particular measurement is above the price chart, and we are going to find that this volume number doesn't add up to what we see in the price chart. Let's jump to GDAX and have a look. On the price chart, we can see the volume bars at the bottom. The period selection right at the top currently has 1 day selected. This selection tells us when the volume occurred. Each bar gives us a volume value for each respective day. The where is obviously GDAX, but we need to be more specific. The volume that we are seeing here is occurring with respect to GDAX's BTC USD order book. The trades in the trade history that are used to generate the volume bars on the price chart are the trades that are occurring against this particular order book on GDAX. If we change to another order book, the trades in volume will be different. As trades occur against the BTC USD order book, they show up in the trade history. Their sizes are added together and this total is displayed on the price chart with the volume bars. When a new period starts, the new trades and respective volume are added to the new bar on the chart. This process doesn't allow for volume bars to go down. It is a strictly increasing process. New trades come in and the volume should go up for the current period. The second location in GDAX where we can see a volume number is at the top on the navigation bar. This volume number is labeled 24-hour volume. This volume number is calculated differently than the bars we see in the chart. The calculation doesn't use fixed buckets, but uses a moving bucket. This type of bucket is usually referred to as a sliding window. The window starts now at the current moment and goes back 24 hours. As time moves forward, the window slides forward. New trades are added at the front of the window, while old trades are removed from the end of the window. For this reason, this number can go down. The number will go down if the volume leaving the window at the end is higher than the new volume being added at the front of the window. This sliding window calculation is a general method and is used heavily in many calculations that involve time. So keep this concept in mind if you are seeing it for the first time. So this gives us the when and the how for the 24-hour volume number. However, the where is not so obvious because there's no indication of location. Let's just assume, like I initially did, that the number is for the currently selected order book, like the volume on the chart. If this is the case, we should be able to roughly eyeball the volume on the price chart over the last 24 hours to see if it matches. We have the 1-day candlestick selected, so we can get a rough estimate of the last 24 hours on the chart by looking at the current bar and the previous bar. The current day and the previous day is more than 24 hours, so let's just add those up and see what we get. On the current day bar, if you look up at the V in the top of the display, you see 2800. Now if we look back one bar at the previous bar, we can see that it was 12,400. So adding these two up, we get about 15,000 BTC traded as stated on the price chart. However, the 24-hour BTC volume says 50,000. That's quite a bit more than what we're seeing on the price chart. When I first saw this, I thought my assumption of where this value is being calculated may be wrong. Maybe the 24-hour volume number is meant to measure across all order books on GDAX and not just a currently selected order book. This would mean that the value should stay the same if we change to another BTC order book. So if we do that, we go to BTC/Euro, then we see that we actually get a different 24-hour volume number. And then if we go to BTC/British Pound, we can also see that the number changes. This indicates or suggests that the number is actually relative to the currently selected order book. Another possibility for this discrepancy between these two volume measurements is that the volume on the chart is actually wrong. But in the video on volume, we verified that the volume bars on the chart match the trade history for the last 3 1-minute candles. We did this by manually adding up all the sizes that were shown in the trade history. For this reason, I trust that the chart values are correct, but I don't trust the 24-hour volume number, and it is definitely a mystery at this point. It is possible that I'm missing something, so if you're seeing something that I may have missed, let me know in the comments below. I hope this discrepancy illustrates why we need to know not only when the volume occurred, like for example the 24-hour volume, but we also need to know where the volume occurred, which marketplace, which exchange, which order book. We need to know those details to have a clear understanding of what the volume number actually means. That's all I wanted to say about the 24-hour volume. Keep this discrepancy in mind and check it now and then to see if GDAX makes a change. The most important takeaway from this discussion is that volume numbers alone do not give us enough information to develop a clear understanding of what has transpired. We need context around the number. Actual trades or transactions have sizes that are added up to create the volume numbers we see, and we need to know when and where these trades took place. When we talk about where volume occurred, we are usually referring to a particular order book at an exchange. And when we talk about when volume occurred, we are usually referring to a time period that is defined by either a fixed bucket or a moving bucket. And a moving bucket is usually called a sliding window.